And it's showtime. Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Marsha-Ann. I am so happy that you are here, and I certainly hope I clicked on everything correctly. Hold on. Okay, got it. Good. So I'm so happy that you are here. Today is the day that I am saying it is time for the season finale of season 2, episode 25 of Real Talk. Hi there. I tell you, if Faithful had a word, I would have fixed it to your name. And so everybody is going to deserve to get a well-needed break. You deserve your summer break too, right, Cher? And this is really in honor of everybody taking a break, to include me, and to regroup and to determine what God has in store for us for season 3, to even think that we made it through season 1. And then he took us through season 2. For me, that's a big, big deal. So it would not have been possible had I not had the kind of support, had I not had the level of determination and the desire to do this. So this is not even going to be a very long episode, but I do have some notes I particularly want to share this evening, because it's time for us to really determine for ourselves, both individually and then collectively, how we need to take it up one more notch. Hey, Lawrence, so glad you joined. Yes, thank you. Welcome. Come on in. Next time we have to be like in a living room setting, and we have pillows and cushions thrown down all over a big floor, and we're serving vino. Like, I have this vision in my head. And if I ever tell you where I want to have it, oh my goodness, nobody would dare say no. Yes, it's in Jamaica, but at a special spot that is going to be so serene. Hey, Talia, you are, bring it on, says Yvonne. Ready. Listen, can you truly imagine along with me? Because in fact, if we do not allow ourselves to dream, then it means that we're only functioning. And I believe that there is so much that we can gain coming together, unpacking, and then determining what needs to stay and determining what we need to grow towards having, and doing that in an idyllic space. It is a nature-driven environment, but beautiful. So you can depend upon me for choosing nice, right? So I've already identified a where. We just need to identify how and when, right? That's all we need to do. And I think all of us coming together would be absolutely epic. It's going to be faith-filled. It's going to be fulfilling. It's going to be purpose-driven. It's going to have empowerment. How you know it's in the cool hills? A combination of the experiences would be lovely. That sounds retreat like Cheryl. So the cool hills and the ocean, I think that combination is winning. But really, I am so honored that we've had this community, and this is something that can happen in a snap. All we need is a little bit of planning and commitment. Commitment from those of us who know we are those who are saying we want more for ourselves. We're ready to invest time in ourselves. It won't take a treat. Yes, hey Stacy, you came last night can we just hear it for last night's show? I have 3 of you that were on. Stacy, Talia, Yvonne, y'all came to the masterclass last night. Man, you all blessed my soul. And in fact, I do want to announce, for those who attended last night, a big part of the class last night, everyone, was about the importance of how we need to lead our lives. And I went through these 4 pillars about leading our lives. Let me officially start so that I can really acknowledge everyone who has now joined properly. Hello, everyone. I'm Marsha-Ann, and I'm your host of Real Talk with Marsha-Ann. This is season 2, episode 25. July is also the first anniversary of Real Talk. And it's also significant that we ended season 1 with 25 episodes. I can tell you in advance that when we do season 3, we will not be doing episodes as long as 25 again. I'm going to revisit what we do, but no matter what, we're going to come back. However God directs it, we are going to come back. We're going to be recharged, re-energized, and really empowered to take life to the next level. And season 3, there are a few guests already lined up. And believe me, they are guests that you're going to want to hear from. And all of us are on a mission to grow and learn from one another. You know what? Bless me by sharing with me. Drop in the chat. What do you believe has been beneficial for you? I have to thank you for coming, because listen, when you choose to give up your Sunday evening and you're giving up this window of time, you're giving up your dinner time, you're giving up, if you're like me, your nap time. Cheryl, can you imagine my naps have now been forfeited? Now talk about a real sacrifice. But I would love for you all to share with me in the chat, even if it is just one comment. Real Talk has benefited you. How or why is Real Talk special to you? Drop it in the chat, because yes, positivity is contagious. I'm happy to hear that, Stacy. For sure, season 3, some of the guests that I already have earmarked will definitely bless your soul. Motivation, good. I'm happy to hear that, Yvonne. And beyond that, I also want you to know that you all, the last 2 episodes especially, I want to talk about that. The episode that we had with Christine, thank you all for lifting her up in prayers. Thank you so very much for pouring into her, for supporting. Today, we had a local publication that went out and featured Christine's story. And so we know that her walk is not going to be a walk in vain. We really do know that God is going to make her a miracle. And she will be able to come back on here and share the joy and the miracle of overcoming this plague that too many of us have intimate knowledge of. And her battle will be won with cancer, and she will be able to come back on here and share her journey. This we believe. And then last week, for those of you who were here to have experienced or watched the replay, last week was really a very moving, powerful episode that took a lot of bravery, where we had candidly Rochelle sharing her journey. And I want you to know that there's some of you that have already blessed the ability to say, I'm ready to commit to help E for Life. And I want to say thanks. I've already reached out and I have shared that with Rochelle as well. And we will come alongside and we are going to help to support E for Life, because there are too many of them who have been affected, and we need to be the change that we want to see. So some of you have said Real Talk reminds me that I'm not alone and that I too can overcome and live a life of happiness. Absolutely. This is a reminder that every single one of us, we have a story. Some of us are willing to share our story. Others, we have to listen to our story. And it really is a place that I want that to be exactly that. So it's good to hear that that's what you've gotten. It has provided a space for growth and genuine caring. That warms my heart. I am so happy to hear that, because it is so important to know that the mission and the objective that I have asked God to use me as a vessel to achieve, that if these are your comments Coming in, it means that these aspects are being fulfilled. Taking me into a stretch zone in many areas. Oh, that's a praise report. Yay for that. So happy to hear that. So, speaking of stretch zone, that's a tongue twister. Speaking of stretch zone, last night we hosted as a real expression of thanks. Everyone was invited. As long as you could wear a crown and call yourself a queen, we had a master class last night, Leading Queens to Greatness. And a part of that master class included unpacking what I developed as the 4 key principles about leading one's life. And the only reason I was able to work on those principles is that we've spoken about it before, that sometimes we can be doing well. Hey, C! Dr. C is in the house. Welcome. Sometimes we can be doing well professionally, but we are crumbling personally. Sometimes we can be doing well personally, but crumbling professionally. Then we went through talking about all of the different areas. Maybe it is that you need to do better and lead your life better spiritually, financially, emotionally, psychologically. I mean, we really unpacked so many areas that we can't afford to not look at ourselves as wholesome beings, because the moment we do not do that, what happens to us is that we begin to operate like a pizza pie, where only here are these slices that have toppings, but the others have not even been put together yet. And it's very important that we understand that until we become our wholesome self, we're going to start looking in all kind of places to fill a void. So if it is that we are crumbling professionally, or crumbling personally, or crumbling in our finances, or crumbling with our purpose, it is not unlikely that we will become so distracted in the areas that we're crumbling, we don't fulfill the need to fill that void. Instead, it might be drowned out in things like binging with shopping, binging with habits like, traveling excessively, or just spending frivolously because you don't want to face the area that you're crumbling. And so my mission of last night, through our class, we spoke about the importance of leading life. And I'm going to share, and there are some folks who were on there last night, and I'm going to share just that aspect. And I'm fast forwarding to say any area of your life that you know you want to improve on, and you can dissect the areas. I'm giving you my tips, which could be a whole course, but my tips that I use to help myself to have improved, especially last year, because I was crumbling with my mindset. My mindset was not as positive as it ought to have been. I was crumbling with having imposter syndrome, feeling like if I spoke about my lupus, it meant that I would be judged as being weak. So that was really unhealthy. I was crumbling with thinking there is so much more that I believe I ought to do but had not yet done. And I had to release that kind of mindset from myself and set myself free. I also had relationships that were not healthy for me. And I had to make some very strong, bold decisions to determine what is it that I need that's healthy for me. And so I was open enough, and I shared last night, you will know when you are actually in a space. So you need to determine your place, your people, and your things that don't make you thrive. You will know if you begin to feel uncomfortable and if you are not being your authentic self, if you're around certain people, or if you're in a particular environment. And one of the things I want to share on this episode, which is very important, other than leading one's life with LEAD, I also want to talk about the importance of values. Any area of your life that you feel that you are misaligned, you've got to check and say to yourself, is it that I'm going against my value system? For example, if faith is important to you and family is important to you, and you're in a relationship, whether it is a host of female friends or a significant other, and you are in a platonic or a romantic relationship, and your values include faith and family, but for that individual, family doesn't matter to them, faith doesn't matter to them, that connection is unequally yoked, not just from what the Bible says, but really from an entire value system. So it means you're on parallel streets and there is no way that you will twain. And it's no different that if you are in a job that doesn't align with your value system. So if you are in a job and your value system is about family, and that job says to you, really, family is not important. Everything, your job is first, your family is irrelevant, and that doesn't matter. You're going to find that your level of dis-ease and dissatisfaction will always remain because it's not aligned with your values. I am sharing that tip with you because I had to really dig deep into my value system. I know what I value. I know the things that are they're non-negotiables for me. And in setting up boundaries, you set up boundaries based on what you value as well. But don't sell yourself short. So if you are aligned with things or places and people that are not aligned with your value system, believe me, this is what's going to happen. You will, in fact, find friction along the way. And the mission needs to be for all of us that we're wanting to be fulfilled, not just functioning in life, not just getting up another day. I mean, each time we lose a loved one or we know of the loss of someone's life that's near and dear to us, we stop and we ask ourselves, and I want us to stop having this quick wonder. We'll have our moments of reflection of the person's passing. And then we say to ourselves, you know what? I'm going to get my act together. Confess, isn't this you too? I'm going to get my act together. I'm going to definitely make sure that I have a better balance with how I approach life. I'm not going to be on this treadmill of, just going. Yes, live in and live with that purpose. It's so important. Where we should be focusing on our loved ones. Our loved ones need to matter to us. We need to focus on what we believe our mission on this earth is and begin to fulfill that mission. Because how many at the end of the day do we hear of that? Some have been so untimely, unexpected. And so I want to encourage us today to talk about leading this life of purpose, honoring your values, honoring your purpose, and making sure you're not functioning, but instead flourishing and being fulfilled. So lead, L-E-A-D. On here, for those of you who came last night, you can drop in the chat, lead L. That means I'm saying to you, it's time to liberate yourself. Yeah. You know what's holding you back. It could be your own self-doubt. It could be your own fears. It could be your own baggage of things that you have carried along the years. It could be betrayal. It could be hurt. It could be unforgiveness. But you got to let it go. And so that was the L, and we unpacked that quite a bit. Then we spoke about the E. The E in lead in your life. The E ensured that we want to make sure that we empower ourselves. But it's easier said than done to empower ourselves if in fact we don't educate ourselves. And so that double E in educating oneself, one needs to decide, how do I need to grow? What are the areas that I could improve? Is it a podcast that I need to be listening to? Is it that I also need to ensure that when I look at my whole life, my holistic approach to life, my mind, my body, my soul, how am I nourishing all of them? So am I empowering myself and educating myself? And am I really ensuring that every aspect of my life, as I talk about leading, am I leading my mind right? Am I leading my soul right? Am I leading my body right? So, yes, Charmaine, letting go. So important. That's a big part of the L. Liberating yourself and letting go. The E, the empowering and educating yourself. So it's not too late. Someone said last night for our masterclass that she was approaching a certain age and had not yet achieved certain things. We cannot look back and dwell on what we have not done, but instead focus on what's ahead. And what's ahead first is today, to make that important point of acceptance and then forge ahead, right? Because we can't live in the past. We're not getting it back. Who hurt us in the past? What we didn't have, what we didn't achieve, the business that you wanted, the job that you didn't get, the promotion that you wish you got, the circumstances that came your way. We've got to use those as building blocks to make it better for tomorrow. And then the A. The A is vital, because if you're going to lead, let go, liberate. E, empower, educate. A, you have to take action and activate. The number of testimonials that I ended up getting last night as direct messages, to include this morning, about how dissecting the word activate was so important to so many of those who joined last night, because all of us are sitting on gifts and talents and dreams and visions, but we just need to be able to take action, activate, move, motion. My son said to me earlier, he said to me, it's 5:15 and you're not ready yet? And I said, I'm a bit tired. And he said, all right, then don't do it. I said, You make a commitment, you honor it. You've got to take the necessary action that's needed to get results. And so I ask you, think of your mind, your body, your soul. What do you need to take action and do? So for your mind, could it be that you need to start, if you're not a reader, do you need to be listening to something? For your mind, could it be that you need to be a part of a community where you are growing more? There are so many, so for example, there's a faith-based community that Courage has, and there's a Saturday morning Bible study. If it is that's an area that you want to grow in with your soul. With your body, do you need to move your body? I started moving mine. Listen. Whew. Talk about making a decision to move the body. And it doesn't have to be a lot. We spoke a couple weeks ago, small steps. 10 minutes a day. Maybe you just need to deep breathe. Maybe it should be first thing in the morning. Maybe it should be last thing at night. But until you carve it in, it will not get done. For me, if I leave anything to the end of the day, I can tell you for sure, unless it's food and cooking, eating or drinking, it won't get done. I have no problem doing that morning, noon, or night. But otherwise, there are things that you want to do. So maybe a big part of it is increasing your devotion time. It could be first thing in the morning. Exercise, take your 10 minutes, do your thing. But it requires taking action, activating. And the D in lead is to make a decision and being determined to stick to that decision. Make a decision and being determined to stick to that decision. And at the end of last night, I shared with everyone go ahead, send me your notes, send me your comments, send me what you gained from it. And I would be giving away 2 folks who would be able to join me, and I will connect for 15 to 30 minutes maximum. And we will do a video conference, a Zoom chat. And it really is about saying to the 2 persons who would have earned it just based on me picking out the names, that how can I help? Is it with a shift in mindset? Is it with really leading life to the next level? How is it that I can help? Because here is what we need to embrace. None of us have it together, but each of us can help someone. All of us have a gift. So I can call out everybody that's on here and identify how you can help me to grow. And there are things that I am sure I can help you to grow in as well. What I know for a fact is that we cannot be all things to all people. So it's not as if we have every single facet of experience and we should never show up with that. Like, don't call me and ask me to help you to do your finances. Don't call me and ask me to help you to do your accounting. I am not the girl for the job. But I do have my 2 giveaways, and I look forward in this month of July, because it's a part of this month-long honor of Real Talk anniversary. And there are some other opportunities as well that may have to come in season 3, because some of the folks that we're going to be offering themselves for coaching might not be able to do that by the end of this month, which is next week. But I am making myself available, and I look forward to sharing. Don't let me come off of this live without telling you who the two names that have been pulled. And you are welcome to take me up on that offer, that we can have a one-on-one session. Really, it's about you unpacking and getting your life to the next level, however it is that I can help to be a guide for that. So without any further ado on that aspect, I believe I would like to encourage all of us for the rest of this year, but in particular in the month of August, even as it's considered summertime and playtime and unwind time. And for those of you who have family, it's family time. But I really want you to identify for yourself 1 or 2 areas, but if you can do 3, I am suggesting you think of your mind, your body, and your soul. And I am suggesting that you set yourself some targets, not big lofty ones. Well, I don't do big lofty ones. I am suggesting that you identify 30-day, 60-day, 90-day, and gift yourself to know what is it that you are going to do to improve in those areas, or improvement includes what is it that I need to let go of so that I can lead that life. So you could make a very informed decision and say, all right, I need a long time to think about what I need to do. There are those of you who may be a lot more like me that says, listen, let me just start the 1st of August and start small and know what my 30-day target is, then my 60-day, then my 90-day. But it's all doable, because here is what I'm sure all of you would admit on here, that since we started Real Talk, at least 1 speaker would have spoken into your life, and you would have taken some form of action to have improved on 1 area of your life. And if you're prepared to share something in the chat that says, I have improved on my time management, I have improved on my mindset, I've improved with my discipline, I have improved with eating better, I've improved with meal prep, I've improved with exercising, I've improved with small steps. I would love to hear from you if you can reflect on an improvement that you have actually made because of a decision by someone that you may have heard on Real Talk, or just the episodes that have come together and you have decided to take an action with X. You notice I didn't ask you if you were building the Taj Mahal. No, I'm saying it could be as important of deciding how to eat better, deciding how to prepare your meals, deciding how to manage your finances, deciding how to strengthen your relationship, or growing spiritually, or being more philanthropic, or choosing to identify your purpose to another level and determining how you're going to actually use your purpose. So I trust that at some point in some episode, you have gotten something that has enriched you to that level, and that will actually take you to that place where you are growing. And once you're growing, I know that you're going to glow. So what else can you expect moving forward? I want you to know that I need you to keep posted on what I will announce on my Instagram. Real Talk will not happen for all of August. That's for sure. So ain't nothing happening then. You can share the replays with others. I invite you to invite others to subscribe as well. Quiche, you've learned to accept people for who they are. Listen, that's a big one. Can we talk about that? I used to be the type of girl myself that thought I had the ability to change people's why. We got to see people for who they are, accept them for who they are, determine for ourselves what boundaries we need to set. We will not disappoint ourselves if we actually have realistic expectations. And so I have learned, albeit very, very late, but better late than never, that when I used to get disappointed about something that someone would have done, I was doing two things. I was expecting them to fulfill my expectation of what I would do. So if I will hold my word and then this person just, makes a commitment and then just drops it, that would disappoint me. But that person demonstrates that that's how they act. It's my duty to set up boundaries and know that what I'm also going to tolerate or not tolerate. That's number one. The other thing is trying to change people for who they are not. Because at the end of the day, everyone is not made to actually be like us. It's just unrealistic. And so we have to know within ourselves how we are setting up our expectations. And yes, accepting people who they are. And my favorite one is from Maya Angelou. Also, that quote, when people show you who they are, believe them. Because many a times they show us. But if we especially if they're traits that are not in keeping with our value system, we want to make changes for them. No. Boundaries are necessary. Boundaries are key. And I'm so glad that you made it this evening. Means a lot. So to share that, if you've learned that, that's a big thing. Boundaries, vital in every single aspect of our lives. And so I'm going to be sharing with you that the winners who will get a chance based on the raffle that I did of last night, and it doesn't mean that I won't have another opportunity in the near future as well, but from last night's masterclass, Leading Queens to Greatness. One winner on here is Yvonne Campbell out of Canada. Congratulations, Yvonne. Thank you for sending in what your takeaways were and Your name was a part of that selection. So congratulations to you on that. Oh, thank you, Cheryl, for sharing. Daniel Gina said that you're allowed to be on the floor, but how long you will stay there? Everything is for a season. Taking action is not about the pace as long as there is movement. Listen, taking action is not about the pace. It's all about the movement. Slow and steady still wins the race. Slow and steady still wins the race. Period. That's it. Slow and steady wins the race. So it's really not about how quick you get it done, not about how quick someone else gets it done. It's just about your approach to choosing to be slow and steady. Thank you so much. I really am happy that you had that takeaway. That was a aha moment. That's good. It's so important to have these aha moments and to share them one with another. Really, really key on that as well. And then I also want to share that my other winner is also on here, and that's Stacy Palmer. Stacy, your name also got pulled, and so we will have a Zoom call, and we will connect via Zoom. We will make the arrangements for that, and we will have that call, and we will speak 15 to 30 minutes max. And that conversation is really going to be around mindset, about empowerment, and about mission. Hey, Marsh. Oh, Marsha, you're on episode 3. You know that already, though. So I would want to say to everyone, yes, slow and steady wins the race. I want everyone to remind yourself. I shared a post earlier today on Instagram, and it's to remind all of us that God made all of us so very special. No one greater than another. And it is so important for us to truly and genuinely encourage one another and lift each other up. As I end season 2, I end it with a heart filled with major gratitude. As I celebrate this month, which is the first anniversary of Real Talk, I celebrate it knowing that this is only possible and has only been possible because of God. And that God has blessed me with folks like you to come alongside me. It's a big deal. I don't care what anybody has to say. It is a big deal. I would never take for granted when you take an hour out of your good Sunday and spend it in this space. But I also know that I have been blessed with great speakers who have given their time. I have been blessed as well with incredible behind the scenes cheerleaders. My mom wrote me a beautiful card. Mommy all know how to join YouTube now, you know. Listen now. Mom wrote me a beautiful congratulatory card for Real Talk anniversary. And I've got to thank my children who have accommodated knowing that what we would normally do on a Sunday. Because remember, this started as like, I just need to do this in the month of July in 2020. Remember, it was only four episodes. First it was going to be 2, then it was supposed to be 4. Guys, when I could identify that together, and there are those of you who have been to 50, today is 50, you have not missed an episode. Like, hello, some of you have had 49 episodes, big and serious. That's called for a celebration. And I think, yeah, I'm going to celebrate tonight, right? But this is only possible because of God's grace. Many of you have poured into my life. You have sent messages of encouragement. You have told me how this has blessed you. You have encouraged me to activate my voice. I've said it again and again that there was a period of my life that I could tell when I was turning down the volume on who I am and who God called me to be, and turning down the volume on my voice, because I was tired of hearing, oh, you know, as the teenager, the bullying in school, why are you talking? Why do you have to speak up? And I knew I was meant to speak up for others too. That's a part of what I am strong about. And so I want to thank you from my heart to yours. I want to thank my behind the scenes folks that have stood by me, my loyalists who are on here. Lord, y'all know who you are, never missing one single episode. For those of you who have sent me the messages when you've caught a replay, I have to call out my OGs. Of course, Dion, Cheryl, Lorna, Yvonne, Shemaine, like y'all are OG people. Talia show up in the middle of the week. She show up last night. Show up. Y'all show up. Keisha, you will send me your messages. Listen, and there's so many. The list is too much to share and to omit anyone. And to my praying mom who has not stopped, to my family, my cousins who have said, come on, you can do this, keep going, and so many. And then to the testimonials that you will never see, the direct messages of people who have said, this particular episode caught me in my deepest, darkest, lowest moment, and it gave me a reason to go on. Last week's episode brought out folks telling me things of their journey with their abuse. And you know, as I said earlier, real talk has to be more than just this. I want it to be that we are those who cause change through giving and serving. And so I really want it to be, one of you said to me recently, I'm available for offering X. I value that, because there are things you will never know about real talk, because everything, God tells us everything doesn't have to go public, right? So there are folks who will help others behind the scenes. And that's what I want us to do. If we can mentor somebody, let's do that. Let us sow into funds that, you'd be amazed to know. I saw last week this post on Instagram, and this is the power of giving $5 or $10. And the power of giving $5 or $10 changed this man's life from his tip jar. And Asia and I said, can you imagine if everyone has that heart to sow and give? All of us will have different causes. Everybody has a cause. And I'm just saying, we are meant to be those set apart to bless. And so let's pray for one another. Let's continue to bless one another. And don't use the time off to just chill and forget about real talk, So what I also want you to do is that this is your show. I really want you to send me your messages for real, for real, for real. Like, if you do it tomorrow, you're going to forget. So send them to me tonight and just say to me, here are some topics I would love to also hear on. Because believe me, God has blessed me with access to people. And God has also given me the boldness to knock on doors and say to folks, I need you on this show. And so I consider it a big, big blessing. I've got to really I'm thinking of folks that I have not even been able to thank, but they know my heart is pure. And I'm overwhelmed with joy. As I close off tonight's show, I close it off saying, may God bless and keep you. May He make His face shine upon you. I lift my heart to my dearly departed David Roper, and I know that today marks exactly 3 months since David has departed us physically, but he has maintained his presence. And I would say that all of us along life's journey have our angels that are around us. I know many of you on here can relate exactly well to this. You know who you are. And I say to you, may it be that we take the time to no longer sweat the small stuff. Easier said than done? Yes. necessary, vital. Let's not sweat the small stuff. Let's not have angst in our heart. Let's ensure that we embrace forgiveness. And sometimes we have to go back again, like, trust me, you have to go back to that well and go, God, help me to deal with this. Pray for grace because we need it. Provocation will come. Yes, it will. Let's love ourselves first. Love God, love yourself, love your family and your loved ones. God, yourself, your family, your loved ones, and all who he has connected to you as your loved ones. Because you see, we can't say that we truly love God if we don't love ourselves. I'll say that again. We can't say that we truly love God if we don't love ourselves. Because we must admit that he made us into who we are. And so we've got to accept ourselves, flaws and all. We've got to accept that we are broken vessels, but we're not shattered vessels. And it's so important for us to really embrace who we are, who God has designed us to be. And then when we are happy with ourselves, last night's exercise was go lock yourself up in a room. No distractions, no social media, no Netflix, ain't nothing but you and you alone. And ask yourself, what is it that I don't love about myself that I need to love? I need you to love all of you. Stretch marks, love handles, triple chin, big ears, small ears, big toe, no toe. You got to love all of you. When you shift how you love you, trust me, everything and everyone else around you will see how your light shines and you're able to love even more unconditionally as we ought to love. So you got to love yourself because you got to love God first. And then you demonstrate that love. Love, joy, peace, kindness, goodness, gentleness, self-control. Yeah, you've got it. So take the time, celebrate yourself. Real Talk, episode 25, season 2, curtain closing. And I'm saying to you, may it be that you live your life of purpose. May it be that you seek God and ask him, what is it that you've got left to do? Because there is work to be done. And no time shall go wasted. All it takes is for you to have the heart, the desire, and the movement, one foot in front of another. You don't need to be a Nobel Prize winner. You don't need a national award. You don't need to be mentioned in the papers. Do it from your heart and watch God. And I don't know who this is for, but it has fallen in my heart and in my spirit to share with somebody or whomever is on here that needs this. You are being obedient to what God has called you to be and to do, but you're not seeing the results of it. You are to be reminded today, be strong and of good courage. And in due season, not your season, not your timetable, in due season, you will reap the rewards. Do not stop. Anytime you feel like giving up, you are this close to your breakthrough. Keep on keeping on. Somebody else may be on here that you're also discouraged. You're also feeling dejected. Maybe fear and doubt has come your way. I want to encourage you tonight to remember that joy does come in the morning. And in the morning doesn't necessarily mean 24 hours. In the morning means go back to that place. Hold on to one thing that brings you joy, not happiness, joy. And hold on to that. And if the only joy that it brings you is to think to yourself, if you are alive, you've got a purpose and there's a plan for you. Let us not take this breath for granted. So, without any further ado, from my heart to yours, may you continue to be blessed. May you flourish. May you say your affirmations. I am blessed. I am wealthy. I am courageous. I'm an overcomer. I am more than enough. I am prosperous. Let me tell you something. Speak to yourself. The version of who I am today is not the version. This is version 2.0. I am not the same person I was up to last year, June, or even last year, July. Yeah, last year, July. I'm not the same person, but by the grace of God. And I am continuing to grow. All of us are made to grow. Shed off your dead skin. Shed off the dead weight. Let go. Lead your life. L, let go, liberate. E, empower, educate. A, activate, take your action. D, decide and be determined. With that, God's love, God's peace, God's joy be your portion. And I value and appreciate you so very much. Thanks for being a part of my community. And until the next time, we will catch up on Instagram and as I am embracing Facebook more on Facebook, and we will meet there. Stay blessed, stay beautiful, dream again. Go to your bed and dream tonight. And send me your notes about some of the things you would love to hear us talk about for season 3. Until then, over and out. Real Talk is that space where we encourage, empower, educate, and equip one another to live our best lives as God uses me as a conduit that you can have a life of purpose, passion, and prosperity. Stay blessed. Bye.